I'm Sloane Ivy, and this YouTube channel is called Conversations with Sloane Ivy. Conversations with Sloane Ivy is going to show you the conversations I'm having with amazing people about the remarkable things they're doing in life. And I'm really excited to share this with y'all. If you know me, you know I love to talk. So I thought, why not share the great conversations I'm having? So please subscribe to this channel. I'm so glad you're here to watch the episode, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks. Hello and welcome to Conversations with Sloane Ivy. I'm here today with Mr. Darren K. Roberts. Thank you so much, Mr. Roberts, for having me here. We have been planning this for a while. I'm so glad I got to be in here to talk to you. So Mr. Roberts is the founding director of University of Texas at Austin's Sports Leadership and Innovation Center. So tell me a little bit about that. I'm very intrigued and interested and ready to see what the center is going to do.
Well, thank you, Sloane. Thank you for having me. And we're excited about the work. So I attended University of Texas 97 to 01. And I left here and I thought I was going into politics. So I went to work in D.C. for Senator Lieberman. I went to the Kennedy School of Government, racked up a lot of debt. And then I went to Harvard Law School. And it was in the summer before my last year of law school that a buddy of mine asked me to go to a football camp with him. So I went and absolutely loved it. And it really forced me to rethink my views on public service and how I fit into helping young men achieve their dreams. You know, if you're a high school coach in the state of Texas, more than likely you get a whistle, someone tells you good luck, and you're off. But we're finding that, one, they're really in an influential position in that there are so many kids coming from single-parent households, and the coach is really the most influential person in their lives. And there's one study that we always point to which found that 76% of Texas high school student athletes cite their coach as the most influential person in their life.
Wow.
So this initiative really enables us to get to those key influencers in the sports arena and begin to support them in their efforts at cultivating young men and women of character. So our most visible sports: men's basketball, men's football, Shaka Smart, and Charlie Strong. You really can't find a better combination of men of integrity and high character, and then just coaching acumen in the country. So we're fortunate at UT to have that combination here. And they also understand that these young men are truly student athletes. And so while their athletic pursuits may be demanding, at the end of the day, they're going to have to support families and function in society without a football or a basketball in their hands. And so they've been incredibly supportive. Coach Strong gave an address at our CLEAT presentation earlier in the year to the coach of the high school coaches. And at their core, this is what they're about. And so we're fortunate to have them as partners.
Yeah, I actually got to be a part of the Texas Exes alumni reception that brought in. Well, I was there for both of them, for Coach Strong a year ago, and then just a month ago for Coach Shaka. So no, that's great. No, it's a great combination.
Yeah, they're the real deal. I mean, from coaching, I've been around a lot of coaches. Spent 7 years doing it, 5 in the NFL, 2 in college, and I think I can tell pretty quickly which coaches are there for the long-term game or the short-term game. And both of them, Coach Smart and Coach Strong, they're in it for the long run. And I think you saw that when Coach Smart left VCU, just in reading some of the comments from his players. I mean, they saw him as a true father figure. I mean, it wasn't just about getting to the tournament and winning it all or going to the Sweet 16. He was really devoted to pushing them, challenging them, and then pushing them to their limit as a man and developing into an influential person in society. And so we're fortunate to have both of them here too.
He spoke, and when he spoke at his reception, he spoke so highly of his past players at VCU. I mean, you can tell that it's very deep for him. Yeah. The pressure that these men and women feel when you are the number one receiver or the number one gymnast in the nation. Yeah. And you have all these schools calling you and I don't know what to do. And then you have these family members that maybe have never been through this or never had this much pressure, and how are they making these decisions? How is it affecting the trajectory of their life, of the decisions that they are making?
Yeah, it's tough because, Sloane, you and I both made some dumb decisions in high school and college. Only difference between us and the collegiate student athlete is that they didn't end up on the front page of the USA Today. And it's the added exposure, and I think of Rivals.com, rating service for high school athletes. So they made a decision early in the year to start evaluating 8th and 7th graders. If you think about that, we're talking about a 7th grade, you're talking about a 12, 13-year-old who now has a profile online and who has reporters and analysts telling him how great he is based on a 40-yard dash time or how many catches he had in middle school. I think that we're setting these kids up for failure because, one, we're inflating their ego on a consistent basis from the time they step on the field. At the same time, we're not highlighting either their academic successes or we're not using their failures to help push them to do better. So as long as they're eligible, as long as they're on the football field on Friday night, we're good. And that usually means is a 70. You get a 70, you're good to play. Now, where in life does a 70% success rate help anybody, right? That's a problem. We talked to the coaches when we had them here for our continuing leadership and ethical training. And we asked them, how many of you highlight when a young man has made a good grade on a test or has made improvement from 1 6 weeks to the next in a course? And 2 hands out of 25 went up. Okay, how many of you are yelling when a young man doesn't run the right 9 route? And all the hands went up, right? And so it's a problem in that our focus is really, it's in the wrong place. And we're seeing, I think, the negative byproducts of so much emphasis on sports. I played high school football in Texas. I love the game. I think it imparts some really valuable lessons. I think that we as parents, as coaches, as educators, as community members, we have to devote the same enthusiasm and support around academics as we do sports. Because the kids know that we don't care about it as much as whether or not they score 3 touchdowns on Friday against the rival.
Yeah, I think all men in college sports are thinking, I'm going to be that one. I'm going to be the person that goes to the pro. And they're not really, sometimes we put so much pressure on that of, football, basketball, you got it, baseball, you're going to make it. You're going to do all the, so you're not thinking, engineering degree, no, things like that.
And here's the catch-22 that I found is that they all know the 1% make it to the NFL. They've all heard those stats. The problem is, especially with high-achieving athletes, you are talking to young men who they've always been the outlier. They've been the fastest kid. They've jumped the highest. They've scored the most touchdowns. So they've always believed themselves to be the exception. So now you're telling them there's a very good chance you won't make it to this next level. And the knee-jerk response is, no, I'm going to do it. Every camp, every year for 6 years, the first thing I ask all of the young men is, who's going to the NFL?
Everybody.
Every hand goes up. Every hand goes up.
Which is great to have that confidence.
It's great to have that confidence. It's great to have that confidence. Where it gets really problematic is when you're devoting the majority of your time to something that you will probably only do for 6 to 7 years, and I'm including high school. So if the average tenure in the NFL is 3.5 years, you're going to spend 4 years in high school and then, okay, let's take 4 years in college and then let's take 3.5, if you're lucky, to stay on a roster for 3.5. Well, now you're 27, 28. You've got to find some way to pay the mortgage and the car loans, and you've got to find a skill that's going to help you live past the ball. And guys don't want to hear it, but at the end of the day, and I always say this, it's going to be you sitting down at a kitchen table with bills. That's eventually where it's going. And so make your decisions based on that long-term approach.
And not the short term. Okay. Well, great. Thank you so much.
Sloane. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
And thank y'all so much for tuning in to Conversations with Sloane Ivy, and I will see you next month. Thank you for watching Conversations with Sloane Ivy. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and please, please, please come back next month for my next episode. Also, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe so you can be updated with any and everything we're doing. I hope you have a fabulous day and you enjoy a conversation with someone today.